Fear Zone Channel, your horror channel. Good evening everyone, and now let's go to today's story, which is from Mr. Marcio, and this happened to him in the city of Barreiras, which is in the state of Bahia, and at that time, which was in the year 1986, Mr. Marcio was 31 years old. And today, I'm going to tell you my story, in which a creature that I had only heard about and thought was only a legend ended up having a terrible experience with a werewolf. And it all starts like this. I live in a rural village in my city, where the houses at that time, many years ago, were far apart from each other, and practically my house was a small farm. But near my neighborhood, there was a creek, where I always went to catch some fish. Well, on a Friday, I went fishing in this stream and caught a few fish, and then I took them back to my house and kept them in the refrigerator. The fact is, when it got late at night, I bought some beer, and then I decided to clean the fish. So, I took the fish to the washing tank in my backyard and started to clean the fish. A few minutes passed, and suddenly I heard many barking dogs in the distance, but I didn't pay attention to that. After cleaning all the fish, I took the remains of the fish and threw them into a garbage bag, and I left the garbage bag on the sidewalk in front of my house, but out of nowhere my neighbor's dog started barking. I looked down the street, but saw nothing. Then I went back to get the fish cleaned in the tank, and that's when I saw a shadow resembling an animal, which was on the side of the tank, and it looked like people. I saw that it was a strange creature, and that it could be dangerous. I tried to hide, but there was no time for me to hide, because the animal saw me, and then it crouched down, and stood on 4 legs, and began to look at me angrily, and of course I was amazed, and afraid of him trying to come after me. But the strange thing about this animal, that caught my attention, and left me terrified, was the glow in his eyes, which seemed lit, and this animal had a demonic appearance. Anyway, as there was a wooden bathroom in the backyard of the house, and it was close to me, I quickly got in there, but it didn't take long, and this beast came close to the bathroom, and this werewolf started walking around, looking for some way to get me. And at this time I was pretty scared, but hoping this creature would give up and go away. I took a closer look at this creature. It looked like a monkey, but its ears were the same as a dog's. It was a huge and bizarre animal. However, this creature knew who I was there inside the bathroom, and this beast, to my surprise, he got up and stood up, only on 2 legs, and at that time I realized that this creature was a real werewolf, and I was even more terrified. But the worst part began to happen, because this beast began to swing and push the bathroom with his hands to destroy it. At that time, I held the bathroom wood, for the beast could not bring it down. The werewolf with his clawed hands held the bathroom wood. Then I saw a piece of wood with a point, like a stake, and quickly grabbed this wood from the ground, and stabbed the werewolf's hand with the tip of the wood, and he roared in pain, and it ran to the backyard, and with the noises, my dogs appeared and came close to me. At that time, as I saw no more werewolf, I took advantage and ran to my house, and then grabbed my hunting rifle, and soon realized that I only had 2 rounds stored. Well, I reloaded the gun, and looked out the window to try to see if the werewolf was still around, but I didn't see anything. After a while, when it was quiet, the creature appeared on the sidewalk in front of home, and he was turning the garbage of the remains of fish to eat. I took advantage of this distraction of the beast, and aimed the gun and shot the werewolf, but the shot failed. Well, I did not want to risk the last ammunition, and would only use it if the creature decided to try to enter the house to attack me. But as luck would have it, the beast caught one of the garbage bags with fish in it, and then the werewolf disappeared and never came back. In the afternoon, I went to the house of a friend of mine, and I got a box of new ammunition, because I did not want to run the risk of finding a werewolf like that in front of me, without having anything to defend myself, because I was very lucky at that time, and managed to stick in the hand of the werewolf with the tip of the wood, and with that I managed to escape from this beast. Soon, a few days passed, after the encounter I had with the werewolf, but something strange happened, because one day, I went to buy bread in a quedanda, and while I was walking through my neighborhood, I saw a lot of people gathered in the street, so I got close to see what was happening. Then, I saw a body of a man, and there was a sheet over that corpse, that would have been killed, by being run over by a car at dawn. I took a good look at the corpse, and his arm was a little bit out of the sheet, and I saw a bruise mark on the dead man's hand, with several points of operation that would have been done in some hospital. After that, I left there, and started to think about this whole werewolf thing. I don't know, but that dead man on the road could have something to do with the werewolf that tried to attack me, because I remember I hit the creature with a wooden stake, which was in the same left hand of the werewolf, which coincidentally was the same left hand of the man who died run over, and he had surgery stitches in his hand. To this day, I keep thinking about this scary story of mine, that I happened to have an experience with a werewolf, and to me the man that was run over on the road was the werewolf, and so the driver must have run over this beast on the road at dawn, but I will never forget this horror story. Fear Zone Channel, your channel of terror. Good evening everyone, and now we go to the story of today, which is Mr. Lauro, and this happened to him in the city of Cam, which is in the state of Parana, and at that time that was the year 1997, Mr. Lauro had 38 years. And today I will tell you, when a werewolf appeared on my small farm, and it was a situation of extreme danger, where it seemed like a horror story, that I was forced to face this creature, to save my family. And it all starts like this. At that time, I lived in an area of farms and ranches around my town, and what happened one day, is that I went to buy some engine parts for my car, and with that, I went to town fast, because I couldn't stay too long with my car stopped, because I used it for my work. However, I bought the parts for my car, and went back to my farm, and started tinkering with the car, and the hours went by, and when evening came I continued tidying up the car, and as it was getting dark I took my flashlight to lighten the place, and I also made 2 fire torches with wooden handles. Well, I managed to fix the car, but there was silence around the place, and it was that suddenly I began to hear some footsteps through the woods near my house, and it seemed that there was someone in the forest, and I got smart about it, and crouched behind the car, but soon the noise stopped, and when I looked in the direction of my house, I saw a huge animal under my bedroom window. My wife appeared at the kitchen window. Well, at that time she warned me to get inside the house, but my wife didn't see that animal, and it was at that moment that creature got up quickly from the ground, and stood up like a man, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but to make matters worse, that creature started trying to pass through my bedroom window, but the window had iron bars, which prevented the werewolf from getting inside my house. Anyway, I stayed quiet behind my car, just watching the movement of this werewolf. However, this beast was on 4 legs, and going back and forth near my house, looking for some place for him to be able to enter, and to make my fear worse, this werewolf went to the door of my house and started banging on it. I was very scared, because the door could be open, and also, I hadn't seen any of my 2 dogs in the backyard, so, even with fear and desperation, I took a piece of iron pipe, and a fire torch in my hand, and went to attack this werewolf, who was trying to open the door of my house, and with the fire torch, this creature was moving backwards on 4 legs, and I saw that the werewolf was a little afraid of the fire, and I tried to open the door handle, but the door was closed, and the werewolf was agitated, trying to find a way to get ahead of me, and I went backwards, and holding the torch in my hand. I went walking through the yard and the werewolf came after me, and my luck is that the werewolf was afraid of the fire that kept him away, but then I got to the car, and got in the car, and then I started the car, and tried to run over the werewolf, but the creature managed to escape, and he ran away through the back of the farm. I looked for the creature in the backyard, but I didn't see him anymore. After a few minutes I got out of the car, and my wife opened the window and talked to me, and then she opened the door, and I managed to get into the house. Well, I took my hunting rifle, and watched the yard through the window, and my 2 dogs, that were inside the house with my wife, I put them in the yard, to help me watch my place. While I was thinking about this scary story, my wife looked out the window, and she said that she saw the creature passing down the street near our place, and she told us to get off the property. So, with this danger of the werewolf coming back, I took my wife and my son, and we got in the car, and soon we left the property with the car, and went to my uncle's house, who lived in a nearby village, and spent the rest of the night at this relative's house. I told everything that happened to my uncle, and he found this story strange, because a few months ago he had heard that some strange animal had killed several animals on farms in the city, and it could be the werewolf that invaded my farm. The fact is, I spent a few days at my uncle's house, and I only went to my farm during the day, but my wife said that she would no longer return to our small farm, and that I should sell the property. However, my uncle advised me that if we were to sell our farm, it would be good not to tell people the story of the werewolf, because no one would want to buy my farm or want to pay a lower price, and my wife also wanted to return to live in the city. With this, I spent some time at my relative's house and soon sold my farm, but I missed the place very much. But as time went by, today I think that it was crazy living in that isolated place and very dark at night, and today I know that living in the countryside is very dangerous, and it was the best choice I made to live in a normal neighborhood in the city. Anyway, werewolves exist, and if you come across one of them, these creatures will attack you. And before we go to the next horror story, leave your like and subscribe to the channel.